You did your nails?
Yeah. Do you see?
What?
I know.
You're back on it.
No, I just did them myself.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, great.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I don't know. And I actually hate it. Like, I was bored. I can't be fucking asked going to the salon that so long. It takes so long.
No, I also think, if you're running around without nail polish on, you've got a lot of confidence. And I'm happy to be part of that crew.
I know. We're all so impressed by your lack of put togetherness.
I don't know. I just think like the women that I meet that don't rock a perfect oval shaped nail, blah, 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 blah. Whatever.
Tracy Turnblad, come back with my ironing machine. That's
like
you.
Yes. Literally where I'm from, my people.
I'm Earthly Representative from the Humans from Space, Phoebe.
And I'm Jacques.
And welcome to Do You Ever Feel Like?
Where we ask the questions everyone's thinking and no one's answering.
We're here. We did it.
We've arrived.
Another week.
Oh my gosh. What is happening here? Do we even know?
I can't see what you're talking about.
I don't know about you. Can you sleep on your hair wet? Can you do that? Is that something you can do as a curly haired person? Can you or sleep? Some people don't like sleeping with wet hair.
You know what I'll do? When I put my hair in rollers, I'll sleep with it kind of like wet. But I just don't like it sensorily.
Yeah, some people don't.
I don't know how people do that. Like they like shower and then like go to. Actually, I was watching some like junkie crime show the other day, and oh my god, someone let me write television. It was pissing me off. This woman she got out of the shower and answered the door, and she threw a sweatshirt on over her wet hair, and then the next scene, the continuity was all fucky because the next scene was her sweatshirt soaking wet from her wet hair. And I was like, this is a bad, let me be a script supervisor, please, because that's a bad choice.
Yeah.
It was so weird.
Weird. Strange.
So, anyway, oh my God, this eyebrows actually distracted me. We're having problems with our human bodies today.
Yes.
It's so weird looking.
It looks like you've been an eyebrow piercing, or you did.
That's actually, that's one of my biggest regrets.
Yeah. It's
not getting an eyebrow piercing so that I have the scar to regret the eyebrow piercing.
Yeah, I get that.
I regret not having that regret.
Yes, I understand.
When I came to my mom, I think this is a good parenting move of Judy. When I came to my mom, have I told you the story?
Yes, but
when I came to
tell the listeners.
Tell the listeners. When I came to my mother and I was like, I want an eyebrow piercing, my mom was really good at never saying no.
Yeah.
To me, and especially my kukulini ideas, and her response was go and research it, and so I went and watched a video of someone getting their eyebrow pierced, and I was like,
that's good advice.
Thoroughly grossed myself out of the whole thing.
That's really good advice,
isn't it? It's great advice, but now I regret not having an eyebrow piercing scar. So anyways. Anyway, what have you been up to since we last recorded? What's happened in the last 72 hours?
It's really a choice what you and I do. How often we talk to each other.
You know what I did on Thursday? I looked at our faces all day.
Yeah, that's what we do. I mean, that's what you do, especially with the pod.
Or maybe it was Wednesday. No, it was Wednesday. All day. Mm-hmm. But we had the pod and we had meetings that I just was looking at our faces. And I thought it was so weird. It was really so weird.
It's really a choice what's happening here. What am I doing? I don't know. I don't think
Have you left your house in the last 72 hours?
I have.
Oh, it's stunning.
Good. Yeah, I definitely have. Yeah, I don't know. We've got some spring vibes.
You've got the trees.
We've got the trees are starting to happen.
And you did your beautiful, I loved your spring table reel.
Oh, thank you.
The other day. You know what I don't feel towards you? Ever? Contempt.
You mean during the scroll of social media?
Yeah.
You came across,
sometimes you see your friends and you're like, ugh, that bitch.
Yeah.
I never feel that way about you.
That's
Is
good.
that funny?
No, I don't think that's funny. I think we work what we were just saying. Like, we're together all the time.
We're together all the time, but I don't feel like I'm not like, you don't, because when you piss me off, and I just go, shut up.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's why, because I just tell you.
No, you're my you're definitely my like content cheerleader. One of many content cheerleaders. Everybody's been lovely.
Well, actually, I think this is a good time. I'm interrupting what you're saying. Great. I think this is a good time to discuss do a year of the pod check-in, because I think, to kind of your point, being like the content cheerleader, only people that make stuff get it.
Yes.
Have I said this on the pod before? No. It's like a hard balance. I kind of waffle between, actually, Olivia Rafferty, who we just had on the pod, I think she was on Substack the other day talking about this, but like, what's the line here of like, you know, your friends that like you want like their support, it's nice, and then also like, I don't go to their day jobs and like go into their office and be like, what are you doing? Like, it's such a funny balance, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I was just sharing the Mike White stuff from our Mike White artist study. Join the green room, check it out. And I think about that, like how so many people in my life probably look at what I do and are so confused and are just kind of like, what is this?
Okay, there's Jacqueline over there.
Yeah, I don't really know what to do with this. And I'm perceiving that as, you don't support my art. You don't, you know what I mean? Or like
exactly. Like, it's like I have to kind of take myself out of it sometimes of like, you don't support my art, but also like I don't go, like, you know, like my best friend's a teacher, like I'm not going to her classroom, but also when she got in teachers college, like we celebrated, you know, like it's like a balance.
There's like a balance. And I think once again, if you choose this path, there's like, nobody knows what to do with you kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We know how to treat people when they get a promotion in like a desk job. Yeah. We don't really know how to treat, like, you know, this year we're going to come up to 100 podcast episodes. Oh, there are ghosts with us.
I think there's ghosts with us today.
Men.
Or there's men out front of my house. Same. Anyway, but I thought we'd do a little year of the pod check-in because we asked, for your waitings and woo-wooings.
Your reviews?
Your ratings and reviews. And I really appreciate you all so much because thank you, but also give me more. Give me more. Give me more. Give me more. That's Brittany, right?
Sure.
Oh my God.
I don't know.
Oh my God.
It is Brittany. It's Brittany.
And I think that's from the circus. Remember in like 2008 where everyone was doing like circus theme things? Like Pink did it, Brittany did it. I saw both of those tours.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, I could be wrong. But yes, we've got your ratings and reviews.
This year, if we continue in the pace that we're continuing it with like an episode a week, we will record 100.
We're going to get to 100 eps this year, guys.
100 eps.
That's mad.
That's huge. And so we have a goal of 100 reviews.
Yes.
I mean, obviously, if we can get to more, slay. But we have a goal of 100 reviews, ratings,
so we're almost halfway there. We've got 40 something. That doesn't include the way that Apple Podcast does it's kind of weird because you see them by country.
Yeah. That also doesn't include,
I'm not including, like I know we've got some listeners in Germany and the UK and stuff. So anyway, but we're just going to call it 40. Let's just call it 40 for now. We're almost halfway there, but we want 100 reviews. So if you haven't already left a rating or a review, I don't know why I can't say those words today. Do it now. And then send it to a friend. Let them know. Say, you probably would like this.
Also, something that's helping us in this process is like help us understand why it is you listen to the pod, why it is you come to us, what it is you get from it. It's really helpful to us to know.
It was really helpful.
What you're feeling when you press play. You know what I mean?
And if you want to like suggest a little topic in the reviews too, we're happy to, like your feedback has been really nice as well. So that's a little year of the pod update I wanted to do.
Year of the pod.
I also wanted to bring to you a funny thought or funny concept I saw online this morning. So I was scrolling this morning and I saw Rob Madge, who wrote My Son's a Queer, but they were also they played Gavroche in, I think, like the 2010 production of Les Mis.
Yes.
So anyway, they were talking this morning about like inappropriate school musicals, like shows that you've. So I wanted to ask you, what inappropriate school musicals, like productions, have you done, seen, been a part of?
The first one that comes to mind is Sweeney Todd.
Okay, there's a lot of Sweeney Todd. How old were you when you did Sweeney Todd?
16.
Okay, that's not 17. too bad. That's not too
but
bad.
it was. I mean, it was high school, so you had 14-year-olds to 18. Like weird
so
time of
funny.
high school.
My favorite was I saw someone, they did a like 8-year-olds did a production of Sweeney Todd.
That actually is hilarious, and I love that. Yeah. I'm trying to think of like middle school though. I don't think we did anything weird.
My show choir did, I believe, from Spring Awakening one year. And I think about that now and I'm like, beautiful song. I believe, I believe, I believe.
It's good.
Oh, I believe.
If it's one song too
weird,
in show choir, I don't know.
Because that's the song where they're fucking.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, that is that song.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Lots of.
I believe in heaven. I believe.
It's good.
I believe.
It's really good.
Oh, I believe.
Oh. Wow.
I love that musical, but it's so weird.
It's
that's a
weird.
weird one to do.
It's really weird. I think, I don't know if there's any other ones that I would consider super weird.
One of my high schools, I wasn't in this production, but they did Chicago. And that, I remember being a teenager and thinking, this is a weird choice.
Weird. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's weird. I think it's really weird when high schools do Rent, too.
Really weird when they do Rent or Hairspray.
Yeah. I remember I assistant directed a production of Hairspray in college. And
I mean, it's weird when you do Hairspray and you don't have enough Black students. That's the weird.
Those,
and by enough I mean any.
That I'm like, this is like that. It's like more like it's coming to me. It's not so much like the content of like, sex.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Like
no, it's just like exactly.
Yeah. Joanna song where she's like, Sweetie Todd. That's like so creepy.
I feel you, Joanne. Actually, that was an audition song that the boys had to use one year for Footloose or something.
Oh my God. Just like 15-year-olds singing that. So funny.
Buried sweetly in your yellow hair. So weird. And you're like also in the cafegimatorium, right?
Exactly.
And it's like 3 p.m. It's like 3:30. School is just let out. And you're like,
or you're still in school,
teeth in the lips,
and you're doing the performance for the whole school in the afternoon, like the assembly performance. 7:30
a.m. Yeah,
exactly.
And you're like,
exactly. Crazy. Yeah, I just remember that stuff. It's like the weird like casting things, or like like Hairspray. Right.
I was always cast as whoever the Black character was supposed to be.
Because you are a character actor?
Because I'm, loud. And that's, whatever that is. Right?
Whatever that is. Racism.
But like, I was always cast as like whoever the like, and like, what's the Little Shop of Horrors?
Mm-hmm. Do you have, were you cast as like those kinds of roles, like character roles or like stuff like that? Were you ever like an ingenue?
No. Oh, fuck no. No.
I'm just curious.
This, look at me right now. I've been this for the last 30 years.
Yeah.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, no. And I don't even think I ever really went out for it either. Like I just knew that like that wasn't happening. But you know, it's a comforting thought. I don't know if anyone listens. I don't know if you're 16 and listening to this. And if you are, I need you to go and take this to your parents. Yeah. Actually, maybe it would be good for I have 16-year-olds that come to my classes.
I think it's
quite
great.
a bit.
Yeah.
I love them. I love having them in class. I'm like, do you think I'm cool? Anyway.
No.
Oh, no, they do. Because I'm like, hey,
Hi.
Hey, what's up? Yeah, parents suck. Anyway, I don't know if there's any 16-year-olds listening to this, but if you're feeling all upset that you're not getting cast as the ingenue role, all of the bitches, I got no problem saying it because they were that were all cast as the leads. I'm the working artist, you know, of that group of people.
Yeah.
Not them. So I'll leave it at that.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want? Jacqueline's being quiet right now.
Yeah. I mean, I was both. So
yeah, you're
I'm
annoying
weird.
that way. You're fucking annoying that way. You actually really piss me off because, like, what we've discussed this before. Everyone's always like, "Yeah, I believe in you." Mm-hmm. Fuck off. That's so fucking annoying.
I don't have like my artist teacher ruined my life one day origin story. I don't have that.
That's like literally weird. What's your problem?
That's my problem.
What's your problem?
That's literally
Yeah.
my deep dark hole that I'm always trying to fill. That's my problem. I think the funny thing too about casting with high schoolers or casting with like just in general is like the straight gay of it all. You know what I mean? Like it's just kind of like
oh my God.
You talk about suspension of disbelief in theater, like high school theater, you got to really roll up and be like, I'm just going to take whatever they hand me.
I know.
In order to be able to see this experience.
We did Les Mis, and I think about that a lot.
Yeah.
That's a funny, weird choice. I mean, it was, and I have my mom to this day, she goes, that's one of the best, I love her. God bless Judy. She's like, I saw Les Mis on Broadway. That was better.
That was better. Uh-huh. I think there is something to like.
But that's what happens when you go to an arts high school. So
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Totally. I have you seen anything like that? Have you seen any high school productions since being an adult? Like, have you gone back to a place like that?
No. One of my good friends is the art teacher at our old high school, and every year she offers. She's like, "Oh, do you want to come see the musical?" I was like, I feel too young to go back.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like I can't go back yet.
Yeah. I haven't gone to like
No, I don't. I'm trying to think. No.
I haven't
Jack, I can still see you. That is so funny. I think that's the funniest thing when people duck. I was at a comedy club the other night, and there was like I was sitting like right in the front, and someone like walks by me, but they like duck like I'm like, you're still like a human meat person like in front of my face. It's so funny.
I'm like, you are tall.
I know.
Like
they're like, oh, duck. I'm like, great, now I can see the 1 inch of ceiling that you're not blocking. What the fuck? I just think humans are so funny. They're like our behavior and outcome are not the same things. Anyway,
I'm not here. I haven't gone back to our high school. I haven't gone back to like my high school or my college, but I've gone back to see middle school or high school productions of like kids I've nannied or like, you know, I've gone to like Shy Arts or stuff, like stuff. And I actually highly recommend it. It's especially to people who are working artists because
I'll seek it out.
It reinvigorates the like earnestness and love that these kids have for art and for theater. It's just like, that's what I think you're actually watching, and why Judy's like, this is the best thing I've ever seen, is like the passion that these like young kids have. And you go, oh my God, I was one of those kids.
I mean, we had one of my, because I only went to like an arts high school for my last year, but the high school, like my weird rinky-dink high school, we did Little Shop of Horrors one year, and the plant, Audrey too, was like, for some reason, we had the like Toronto theater, like prop theater plant. Yeah. And so we're in the Cafegimatorium, but like
with the
good, like this like Soleil Audrey 2 set. Yeah. Like, and everyone was so jazzed. Yeah. You know who played Audrey 2 was like our resident like what would you call, like emo, like Mohawk stoner type, like screamo guy. Yeah. He sang Audrey 2. It was so good.
That's a really good choice for that.
I had a really good like theater teacher who was really good at like getting like the outsiders like into, like she called a lot of people into musical theater. She didn't just like default to who was already in the room. Like she was like, you come here. Yeah. She took the entire school and casted from the school. You know?
My high school theater was like that. I went to my high school was like a weird, like alternate universe where like we were really good. Like I think from most people's perspectives, you would think I went to an art school, but like our like sports and like all this other stuff was like really, they did really well too. Our school did really well too. That's but funny. We had like,
that's always nice. That's what I kind of felt like.
It's like well-rounded, you know what I mean? And like the jocks, whatever, would come and watch theater stuff. And like, we would go to soccer games or like whatever it is. The coolest thing you could do in my high school was be part of African dance.
I love that.
You know what I mean?
Like that was kind of like the high school that I graduated from. It was like, I remember like going like especially like changing high schools, and we were like the cool kids were the theater kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what fucking alternate?
Yeah, what is this?
Did I just so weird? Like, I was a nerd like down the block.
Yeah,
and I like moved up the street and like was cool.
Yeah,
it was so bizarre.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was just thinking about that this morning.
I mean, we could do a whole episode on high school theater. Honestly.
Yeah, we should. I shouldn't have even attempted to try and have a quick conversation about it. But I saw that this morning, and I was like, oh my god, like
yeah.
I've seen a lot of people do productions of Rent like high school with like diabetes instead of AIDS.
Oh my god, no. Okay, that
shit. Yeah.
That shit pisses me off. No, stop! Don't change.
But that's what it is.
Story or content. Don't do that. That's worse. That is worse.
It's like so offensive.
It's horrible. Don't do that.
Anyway, so that's what I was thinking of this morning, or I believe when. Fuck, I love Spring Awakening. That's probably it's playing this weekend, like up at a community theater in Guelph. I was thinking about going. Maybe I'll go by myself.
You should go.
Well, I was gonna say to your point about like going to see like high school productions of stuff. I've been going to see like a lot of like local stuff lately, and I highly recommend it because it's a lot of the time it's free too.
It's free. It's cheap.
It's free. It's like, and I've just been, I was saying last week, I was bored. I've been bored. So I'm just kind of committing to like what's on Friday night and going out. Especially when you don't drink. I'm like,
I know.
What the fuck do I do?
I know. The other night.
I've had enough caffeine. I've had some soda water. And it's 3 p.m. and I'm bored.
I know. That's so funny. The other night, Jack and I, because we do dates. We go out, early.
We do dates.
We do dates. Early-ish in the evening, because like I'm not trying to be out late in these times. Anyways, the point is that really in no times am I trying to be out late. But we go on these like early little dates and then come home and we're like,
I know, and then you're like, okay, it's 8.
Yeah, so we sat down at the kitchen table and played card games and drank tea. Aww. And I was literally like, tell me that you're married and sober without telling me you're married.
I know, truly, you're like looking at each other.
Like we're literally like,
that's so funny. I thought of that the other day.
Married, sober, and childless.
I know. Like
card games.
That's really funny.
I know.
I was leaving my class the other night, and it was like 9:00, and I was like, I don't want to go home. Like, I'm bored. And as I was I was leaving and I was like walking to my car and I was like, guess I'll just drive home now. Like, whatever. And then I was like, oh, I could have asked everyone. Like, it occurred to me. I was like, oh, you should next time like ask people to go out after. It's just, I don't know. I also think our brains are so fucking broken from the pandemic. And
so broken.
So I was just reading something this morning about how we're all fine. Anyway, this is a singing app. Just dance the way through. Anyway, shall we get to the question?
We all can get to the question. Okay, you ever feel like city or country?
City.
Always.
Moving around the place.
That's
down
your choice.
Making my way downtown, faces past, marking past, and I'm homebound. That's me.
Yeah.
Hey, Vu? I don't know what you're going to say. You're pissing me off already.
I don't know.
You don't know?
I mean, I think I'm country. Yeah. And it's like sad.
Well, because you know what? Here's the thing. We return from whence we came. You know? I don't like that I have a little bit of country in me. Because sometimes I'm out, like I go out and see my dad and I'm like, this is fucking stunning.
Mm-hmm.
Should I move here?
Mm-hmm.
Look at that old stone house.
Yeah. Look at
That's
this
a
field
sleigh.
of grass.
Look at this fucking field.
Yeah.
Hello.
Sleigh.
There's a cow over there in the yonder distance. I go out and see one of my buddies lives out in the country, and he's like, he loves it out there. He's like growing tomatoes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I need to go get a coffee. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. I mean, when I really think about it, I'm in the middle, I think. You know, I'm in the middle. I think I'm like not city and not country. I think I'm, you know, small town vibes, honestly. Like, I think I still need a main street.
Yeah.
You know, when we say return from where you came, I came from Gilmore Girls. I returned to Gilmore Girls. Like,
I was
you know what I
gonna
mean?
say,
Like, that's
everyone wants to live in the walkable city that is Stars Hollow.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
we all love a 15-minute city.
I love a 15-minute city. I love the option of being able to like be in the country, but have it not be an hour-long drive. Like, you know what I mean? But I think it's interesting because you love, when you vacation, you're like city, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Cities to me are the equivalent of like my relaxy beach. Like, I don't know what to do with myself when I get, because like what I like doing in a city is like, you know, sitting on a bench.
Yeah. Or like when, you know, when you go to Paris, you sit and you like,
you go to the park.
you go to the park, you
And
eat
you,
some
like,
bread.
That's relaxing to me. But I need like other people around. I think it's like the other, like when I'm not around people, we go to like, you know, cottage country
Right.
in the summer sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't like Starbucks. I couldn't tell you the last time I've been to a McDonald's. I get far away from civilization and I'm like, I need a mocha frappa crappa thing. I need to talk to a gay person. Like,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think that there's something kind of, okay, so like
it's relaxing to me
Yeah.
to know that there's like people around. It's not relaxing to be.
Yeah. This whole thing too, where people are like, "Ugh, the city is unsafe." I'm like, what? Like, the most insane fucking shit happens.
I know.
Where there's no one around.
I know.
You know what I mean?
I was literally
Like,
just walking down the street, broad daylight the other day, and I was like, oh, I feel a little bit unsafe. And there's like because there was a single man, and I was by myself. And I was like, fuck.
That's like, and I even think that there are some cities that can kind of feel like that way. Like when I lived in Chicago, I was like, it's like very normal because Chicago landmass wise is so big.
It's so big.
It's like very normal to be like walking home from the train and walking through a neighborhood and being totally alone. And that is weird, especially in like a big city. I think
that's like when I'm in Toronto right now, I'm too afraid to get off at Expedition. It's Expo, the station. I was going to call it Exposition. That'd be really funny to have a train station called Exposition. That's so funny, actually. Someone take that idea from me. Anyway, but they've just built this like new tunnel thing. So you go under the tracks to get to the other side. And I'm like, that is for getting raped in.
No.
Who built that? A man.
Men.
A man. And so I go all the way fucking downtown because I'm too, like, it takes me like half an hour to get there versus the other fucking station's like 10 minutes away from me. But I'm too scared because that's creepy.
Yeah.
And it's like also in a weird part of Toronto too. Shout out Liberty Village. It's fucking odd.
Odd. Yeah. I think I'm like, as I get older, more into a country, more into a small town vibe. I mean, I lived in many a city. I think that's something else that has to do with it too. Like,
would you call Pittsburgh?
Oh, Pittsburgh.
Is it like city-y?
It is a city. I mean, there's like a downtown. There's like a financial district. Then there's like different neighborhoods.
I need to go to the financial district of Pittsburgh. What's that like?
2 buildings. It's a small. I mean, Pittsburgh feels like a big small town, but it is technically a city. You know, it has public transport. I mean, I guess small towns have public transportation too. But yeah.
They have a bus.
I don't know. I've lived in a bunch of different cities, and I think I've just gotten to the point where I'm like,
you're over it.
Because even in the way I live in a city.
What are you doing?
what am I doing? I'm usually going to the same reliable coffee place that I know has the good stuff. I'm usually going to like the same set of restaurants or the same movie theater or the like, I'm not, being like, let's try out this new place. I mean, I've been trying to do that a little bit more this year because of boredom, but like, you know what I mean? I'm not really doing that. I'm kind of okay with having like the place I go to dinner. That's like kind of the same. 2 or 3 places I hit up.
That's funny. I'm not like that. I gotta go out. I need to go to
a new place. How's that going in Hamilton though? Isn't it like slim pickings?
Oh my God, yes. And also too, like I was out the other night. Sierra and I were out the other night, and we're like, let's go to this place, and we're like, it's closed. Yeah. Every time I open up my phone right now too, like another business is closing. Guys, you got to go to your cafes. You got to go to the bar if you want these places to let. Like it's mad. They're like bumping like cool hip donut place on like in like the trendy area of town is closing. They've been there for 10 years.
The one you took me to?
Yes, Donut Monster. I know.
No,
and they're
so
like,
good.
They're like that place is always like hopping. And I'm like, fuck, if they can't make it, I don't know who can.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. If you live in a city, like, like
you gotta
go
use
out.
it.
You gotta, and I don't.
Well, and I also think that too. It's like if you're paying for. I was talking about that with a friend in Toronto the other day because everyone's always like, I can't believe you come into Toronto, and I was like, it's the same amount of time, like door to door. If you live on the other side of the city and you're like driving across the city, it takes 45 minutes no matter what. But I think if you like live in the city, then you're like, I'm paying like city prices. Like I will like. I'm not gonna leave to go out. Like no one from Toronto can imagine leaving Toronto to go and do something because they've like the effort has been there. But I also feel that way because like I grew up in Toronto, right? Like and I spent a lot of like my formative years there. Also like in my early 20s or whatever. And so Toronto's like a small town. Also, I feel like like I went out a couple nights ago and I ran into somebody I went to high school with. And I was like, ugh.
Yeah, totally.
That's annoying.
That's annoying. That's so annoying. Yeah, I mean, I think I don't know. I was interested about this because I think this is kind of like a 30-something conversation that you start to have of like, do you want to stay in the city or do you want to leave? And like, do you want a family? And where do you want to raise your family? And like all of that stuff. And it's just been, on my mind. But I think I think it's interesting, right? Because people, the trend that we find is that people leave, people raise their kids somewhere else. And then like, actually, if you were a real city bitch in your like younger years, like if you lived in the city between like, 16 and 30, you return. Yeah. You're like a slay totally 70-year-old going back and living. Totally. You know what I mean? And that's like the general pattern. Like people don't retire. Like all these things are so confusing.
Which I always think it's kind of funny that people want to leave the city to have kids because I'm like, you want to go and be alone in the woods with a fucking baby
and no convenience.
No, the convenience of like people being around or like I don't know, fucking like drop in or soft play or any of that. Like you want to get in your car to like I think
every time you leave your house
bizarre.
with your child, you have to get in a car. Like wild. No, thank you. I don't want to do that.
Is it White Lotus that they were like I can't believe you have kids in New York City, like they make out with each other on the subway when they're 8. Is that what that is?
Yeah, she was like, I just don't understand those kids. They start jerking each other off when they're 8. And then other characters like that's probably happening in Austin, Texas too. Yeah.
Yes.
It's happening. Whatever. We won't get into that. We won't. You and I have got opinions.
Me and I shouting.
Anyways, yeah, I think. Anyways, I just been like thinking about that city or country gal. I also think there is something that it's like, and again, this is my algorithm. I interact with it, which is why I'm being served it. Yeah. But I think there is like this weird like, oh, now you're 30-something. Like the algorithm understands that you're 30-something years old. Yeah. Here's a cottagecore life. You know what I mean? Here's a flowers and blah, 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 blah. And here's like this and that and a basket. Do you want to take a basket to the farmer's market?
Hey, do you need some wicker?
Hey, do you need a basket?
Do you need a wicker basket for every conceivable thing that you've ever owned.
In
1,000 different sizes also, by the way.
Yes. Yeah. Do you need like, you know, this like vintage tea kettle? Do you need, and I'm eating it up. I love that stuff. I love it.
Methinks the lady doth will be having a tea kettle. Thank you very much.
I'm like, yes, please. But I want that with being able to leave and get a coffee. You know what I'm saying?
Talking to somebody else. Yeah, we all
talking
want a
with
walkable
somebody.
City. Yeah. Yeah.
That's Hamilton.
Yeah. One thing I do really like about living here is the nature. Like I can be on a trail from my house in like a couple of minutes. It's very nice.
That's really nice.
I would fully move back to Toronto if I could afford to. Like,
I
would.
That's what's really interesting about.
We moved like out of Toronto just before the pandemic, and we were like, oh, let's just see if we can find a place in Hamilton for cheaper. We were getting kicked out of our place, and the plan was to stay if we couldn't. And it was like kind of like the last. Yeah. Like the place that we end up moving to, we're like, okay, if this place doesn't work out, then like, let's just stay. We ended up getting it. So that's why we moved out. But I would fully move back if I could afford to, but it is insane.
Yeah. The rent there is wild. And
insane,
I'm
truly
saying
insane. I don't know how people do it.
I don't understand. That's so
Shout out to our
wild.
Toronto listeners. I know there's a lot of you. God bless.
God bless to you.
I mean, it's the same thing in Hamilton too. Like it's madness. It's just madness.
Rent and housing prices there are crazy.
It's like, you know, like 1.5 million for like a fixer upper.
It's wild. And I was reading about how Canada extended its foreign buyers law, meaning
Great.
Meaning I cannot buy property in Canada.
Oh yeah, no,
unless I'm
we
a
have a lot
citizen.
of Russian oligarchs.
Yeah.
That's like our big that's part of why Toronto's so expensive. All of those condo buildings are like half empty.
Yeah. And people like they're trying to like keep the money and keep the like being able to like afford housing like within, you know, the country, which I totally understand. But that's like they extended it to 2027. So if I ever want to live in Canada, I have to become a citizen to buy something.
There you go.
I mean, that's one way to do it.
That's one way to do it.
And then I also think something that happens too is like people get like, if you've lived in a city for a while, you start to get the like, oh, I've lived in a city for a while. Like sometimes it can be quite hard.
It is
right?
hard.
Like,
I think I've said this too. Like I feel very, what's the word? Like I have the skill of being in a city.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like when I travel places, I can like figure out a public transportation system. I like know how to walk in a city. Oh my God. Have you seen those fucking TikTok videos of like people like walking around like London and New York with like filming their kids and being like, I can't believe someone shoved my child on the escalator going down to the subway. I'm like, it is 8 a.m. on a Monday, bitch. Like people live here. Like I think people forget that like, I mean, it's just, we're just talking about fucking people with kids today. Pissing me off.
Well, these things come up when you talk about these things. I don't know. Like get out of the way. What is it? What's her name? Fran Lebowitz?
Fran Lebowitz? Yeah. What about her?
Is that who it is? Who am I thinking? Toni Morrison's best friend.
Yeah, that's Fran Lebowitz.
Fran Lebowitz says pretend you're in a city. Like
move.
She's got move. Like keep moving.
I agree.
The sidewalk is for moving.
But people think that like New York is like fucking Disneyland. Like stop it. I mean, nothing is more embarrassing to me. I'm just gonna bitch about fucking
then Times Square.
No, okay. Not if you behave appropriately. Could you imagine me directing traffic in Times Square? It'd be a flawless system.
Yeah. Yeah. I couldn't
actually
Times Square
believe when we were in
and
Times
I black
Square.
out.
When we were in Times Square like a couple months ago, I have photos of the last time I was in Times Square in like 2016. What am I saying? 2012.
It's crazy now.
It's so different. It was literally the exact same time of year.
Yeah.
Like first week of December in Times Square. I actually felt insane.
It's wild now.
It's insane. How do people, and I was like, how do people get to work?
Multiple times. Well, because nobody works over there. Like
no, but if you're in, like if you work at the theater, how do you get there? Like if you're like,
oh no, people go and they stay all day and then they leave. Like that's what happens. Yeah.
Your commute from the subway's got to be an hour.
Oh, it's insane. Yeah, it's really wild. Multiple times last year, I have like ran through Times Square to make a curtain. Because it's like, even if you even if you give yourself like a couple of hours even.
Yeah,
like
getting from
a good hour is what we
subway.
try and give ourselves, like once we're just in Times Square to get to the place, because it's so wild.
Anyway, but I do love New York. I do love.
But then you've got this like, exactly. It's like, it is hard. It can be hard. You've got like, you know, you're on the subway and like a man is like jerking off in front of you. Like that's real. You know what I mean? You can get really like, you know, just kind of like this feeling all the time, like really tense.
I think I have to like remember that I like live in a city and like to enjoy it sometimes, because I do get that way, especially if I'm like walking through like, you know, whatever, through a crowd and I'm like getting annoyed about it, or especially actually when I used to walk, I would walk through Yonge and Dundas, which I think is very funny that people call it Toronto's Times Square. Absolutely hilarious. But anyway, have we walked through Yonge and Dundas?
Yes.
Before? Yeah. I used to like, that's how I would get to school, is like walking through Yonge. It was like genuinely the easiest way. And I used to get all like crunchy mad about it. But I have to remind myself to like, I don't know. I wanted to move there, or like, I do really love the city that I live in. I don't know. You just have to kind of remind autonomy is you have it, you know, like free totally. Free will.
And like, I know the opposite of that too. It's like, I don't really know the opposite of that actually. Like, I don't actually know what it feels like to live in a rural place. Like I know what it feels like to live like on the border of a suburban country, like side. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I don't really actually know what it feels like to live in a place where there's only one stoplight in your town. Like, you know what I mean? Like the other extreme of like real country living, where it's like, will I have internet today? Like, that's how some people live. You know what I mean? And like, there's a privilege in being able to like walk down the street and grab your coffee. You know what I mean? I get that. Totally. I understand that, you know? But I do think I'm about that age. We're about that age.
It's really funny you say that, because my Instagram Explore page right now is like all pregnant people. And I want nothing less right now. It's so funny. Last week, really wanted a kid. I was like, that's it. I feel certain I'm going to do it. And this week, I'm like, get the fuck out of my face.
No. Get away from me.
Everyone stay away from me. I'm also going to break up with my boyfriend and move to Costa Rica. Like, I've had enough. Like,
interesting. Costa Rica, but a city in Costa Rica where you can have a little moped.
I've never been to Costa Rica. Yeah.
You know, that's what I see for you there. A basket, but in a city.
I'm saying Costa Rica is a place that people go. If I were to really leave, let's be for real.
You go to Europe.
It'd be Paris. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm ever on the run,
I think you should just do it. I can't wait, actually. I actually very much encourage this. I can't wait to wake up to a text message from you that's like, I left. I went to Paris.
Don't talk to me.
Don't talk to me. And I'm going to be like, great. New person.
I'm going to burn it all down. It's funny. But I just...
I guess it's the maybe little like girl in me is like, you never said you would do this, right? Like,
oh, it's so funny. Yeah. Well, that's how I feel when I like look back at like moving to my hometown. I'm like, like, I've taken you to my hometown before. I'm like, isn't this so cute?
It's so cute. Yeah.
And when I was a teenager, I was like, fuck this place. I'm never coming back.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. Get me out of here. Yeah. Totally. I felt that way. I mean, I had to drive everywhere. I had to drive everywhere. I mean, even going to school, like literally on the border of DC and Maryland, like in a pretty metropolitan place or whatever. And I still was like, because we lived in a suburb, felt like, oh my God, everything takes forever. I'm in a car, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. All of that.
I guess I think it doesn't, I could kind of probably live anywhere, but if I had to get in my car to leave my front door, like that would make me go crazy.
No. Like that. No. It's terrible. I mean, people are happier in cities. Technically, I believe that. There's statistics that say so.
Technically, they're happier.
Technically, science says they're happier. But, they're like, breathing in terrible fucking air. And
I do wonder about that.
It's really loud. And that's not, our ears are going to be fucked by the time we're 70.
Yeah.
It's so loud.
We were looking at a place and Simon was like, absolutely not. That's by the industrial set. Like, we're already getting it bad enough. Where we are. And I was like, okay. I don't want the black lung.
And now you have to think about when as far as like moving, you have to think about what's going to exist in 50 years.
Can I escape here?
Should I live near the water so that like, you know,
I have
survive?
Do I want to live by the water depot?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
I know we've been really on our apocalypse game lately.
And I mean, I just, you know, this is what's happening. And in 2025, like the amount of people that are trying to leave the US, the amount of like expat applications and like people are overrun to live in like Denmark and Sweden and all these places that American, like all these like safe white places that Americans want to like run to, you know, are there's like, it's becoming a really big problem with not only just like, you know, the immigration of it all, but the cost of living. Now, if you want to live in Amsterdam, it's like 5,000 euros to get in a 1-bedroom apartment.
You're lying.
That's like
so
going
no,
to
it's
New York
not.
and people, and it's like New York now where people are having to like put in their applications and have all these like, you know, letters of reference and are like going into bidding, or even though it's like not to live. And most of those people aren't actually, you know, from Europe. Most of those people are expat families.
That's mad.
You know?
Well,
Anyways.
the daybed's here.
Oh, I know. I know.
For anyone.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I think. Like, I like the little cottagecore moment.
Yeah.
I mean, let's also just be for fucking real for a second. I think a lot of this has to do with the pandemic because, and I've said this before in this podcast, early pandemic, anyone that had a square foot of grass was public enemy number one in my mind. Like, I could not stand my friends bitching. And like, granted, they had like kids at home. Like, that's hellish.
Yeah. Terrible.
They were like, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like, you stepped into a backyard.
Yeah, you felt
I'm
grass
gonna
on your
kill
feet.
you.
Yeah. Totally.
So I think a lot of that has to do with, and there's like, also I was thinking about this too, just like from the economics of it all, like times of prosperity, like hemlines are like predictor of economic, like hemlines get long when things are bad.
When things are
bad. You know what I mean? So it's like we all just like things are bad. We just want to wear long skirts in fields, you know?
Yeah. We want to like escape.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Privilege, etc. as well. I don't know. And everything. So this whole thing though too, over like, oh, it's like inexpensive to go live in the country. Nothing is inexpensive anymore. Like everything is like every choice. Like there is no like better, you know what I mean? Like everything is technically super expensive. I don't know. That's all. That's my podcast.
Everything's really bad. But do you ever? That's been our theme the last couple of weeks. Yeah, I don't know. Like, slay.
Do what your heart desires.
Do what your heart desires. I just love having a coffee shop. I can't lie, you know? And I like coffee shops, and I like going out, and I like going to the shows, and I like the train, and I like being with the people. It's who I am. But I think it's really funny. Like, I grew up in Toronto, and then we moved to the country, and that's where my my brother was born and whatever. And he's such a he's so country mouse. Yeah, like we're very country mouse, city mouse, and I think that's like very funny. But also, he lives in downtown Toronto and he hates it. I'm like, you are supposed to be in the woods.
That's interesting.
So I think,
because he was like so about it. I thought he would be, I guess, right?
Well, you know, he's a 20-something-year-old man.
Yeah. Wait, I like City Mouse or Country Mouse?
Country Mouse or City Mouse? That was a show, right?
I don't know. It's a children's book, I think.
That's what I mean. Country Mouse and City Mouse. Yeah, it was a TV. I loved the City Mouse gal. Was she? I don't know who she was, but I love the gal.
You know that whole thing that's going around the internet right now? That's like the reason I thought that or what I thought my adult neighborhood life would be like, or what I thought city living would be like, and it's like the Richard Scarry, thing. Yeah. Which is funny because I don't actually think that he was drawing cities. I think he was drawing kind of like this small town, middle ground.
Well, I think that's like what we're all contending with now is capitalism really wrecks a lot of stuff. There's a politician in, I think, Alberta who's like one of his platform points is like, walkable cities are horrible. Like he's like, oh, like, that's what conservatism gets you, man. They're just like, they want to, or like that's what our premier's trying to do right now. He's getting rid of all the bike lanes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because car infrastructure.
I hate cars. There is nothing I hate more than a car.
I think that's actually
that's
what
not
our
true. There are other
problem
things
is.
I hate more, but cars are fucking horrible. I hate them. I hate cars.
No, it's boring.
I hate being in cars.
Boring. I hate driving.
I hate driving cars. I hate maintaining a car.
I know.
I
Anyway, on that note,
whatever this episode was.
It was something. Leave your ratings and reviewings, please. Anything else? We are teaching when this episode comes out, we're teaching tomorrow night how to run an online workshop at the end of the world. If you want to come join us in the Zoom room, it kind of actually, I feel like it's very relevant to what we've been talking about the last couple of weeks. How do we have these jobs at the end of the world?
How do we keep going? And like, you know, if you currently teach in a Zoom room and you're bored out of your gourd, this is a good class for you. Or if you want to start teaching in a Zoom room or create an online class and you're like, what do I have to share with the world? What do I have to teach? A lot.
And I take it from two gals who, you know, we've been doing a lot. We were teaching online before Zoom.
Before Zoom even was a thing. And also like just been like our whole lives like, what is this thing I can tell the world?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what am I going to wake up today and say, this is what's going on. Listen to me, you know?
Perfect. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.